The fact that climate change is against sustainability is an undeniable fact. Currently, climate change is only severely worsening. To predict our future, outcomes are not positive. More than 2 billion people are to have water shortage, around 10 billion people will be exposed to heat waves, and over 70 million people will bear the effects of floods by 2100. If climate change is not solved by the near future, future generations will experience an Earth with worn-out resources. Today, I will discuss how acidification of oceans, droughts, and heat waves have affected my life in general in areas like food, crops, and health risk. One of the eventual outcomes of climate change is ocean acidification. Ocean acidification reduces carbonate within the sea, which makes it increasingly difficult for life forms such as coral to create their structures. Extant shells may begin to break up due to ocean acidification, and the acidity has increased by 25% since the 1700s, with mussels and coral reefs as the most affected species. Following our current trajectory, the annual cost of mussel loss could value up to $100 billion. Approximately 25% of all marine life have been dependent on corals at some point in their life, thus they have a huge impact on marine life. However, because of ocean acidification, corals cannot form their skeleton. Under extremities, their skeletons can't even begin dissolving. This will lead to chaos within the food chain, as so many animals are dependent on nourishment within coral reefs. Ocean acidification specifically disturbs marine food chains and limits sources of food within the sea. The effect of increased ocean acidity on marine life poses consequences for food consumers and more communities, including the 500 million people who depend on marine life for a living, and including me. Other than ocean acidification, food prices have also increased considering the disastrous situation brought to farmers last year. Heat waves and droughts have soon become a farmer's dilemma. Faster evaporation caused by heat waves results in droughts and water shortage situations. As a result, there will be less water for irrigation. A study concluded that if greenhouse gas emissions continue to trap heat near the surface, harvests could fall by 35% due to water insufficiency. U.S. corn yield could decrease by half from a 4 degrees Celsius increase in temperature. Livestock do not have enough to eat, and their issues are accompanied by disease that arise from the heat. Their survival rates in farm will severely decline. In Asia, about 23 million hectares of rain-fed rice production areas are already exposed to water scarcity. According to the shortage of crops and food that comes from droughts as well as expansion of disease from heat waves, food prices will soar up. This affects developing countries the most, as access to food will be difficult to obtain, and I live in a developing country. Climate change also brings inclining health risks to people, particularly children. Young children are proven to be far more liable for the damage that climate change poses. Because of children's composure, they are very vulnerable to heat waves. During heat waves, children are often affected by disease related to the respiratory and the kidney system, such as pneumonia. Heat waves have also been shown to deteriorate air pollution, which affects children due to the fact that they breathe at a much faster rate. Children most likely cannot do anything about this after effects, yet they are continuously dying from the health risk every day. Though a lot of climate change aspects remains uncertain, we know that less consumption of carbon dioxide will help all of us. Though the results needed are not necessarily easy to achieve, if everyone makes an effort to decrease carbon footprints, whether it be planting more trees or driving less, we would soon change the earth for the better. The harmful effects of ocean acidification, rise of food prices, and health risk will greatly lessen. And again, I hope that my speech had been educational, and thank you for listening.